And now it's a hostage situation because I'm holding the clothing iron hostage until I get my cookies.
All right.
I need a drink.
It's a good start. Hi. Welcome to Backseat Adulting, the podcast with Annie and Strike. First episode after we recorded a podcast, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. That was called Super Extreme Millennials Deluxe, which was cool. But we never really picked up on that. We did like 2 or 3 episodes.
We did. We also never did it in person. We did over OBS.
Yeah. It was basically just OBS. I somehow captured your video and audio and tried to like sync it out. That took forever.
You somehow.
Yeah, no, but it's honestly, it's this is why we're doing it in the same place this time around. Because it's just, I think the vibe's better. It's just you're sitting right next to each other, and it's just more like an actual conversation.
More natural.
We just have to always keep in mind, because I'm looking at the recording, that we're both keeping the mic super close and everything.
Oh yes,
because I have a naturally louder voice than she does.
I do have a very small voice. That's the wrong word.
Small. It's
like tiny. No, not tiny. Oh.
Yeah, I think small is used sometimes. I think some people, like in audio engineering, call it thin, which I also think. Yeah, I don't know if I like that term. It makes it sound. It sounds like, it makes it sound.
But have you listened to me lately?
Yeah. Yeah, the whole point of a podcast together is that we actually listen to each other.
Oh yeah, right.
No, I'm just making this about myself.
Okay.
Cheers to episode 1.
Cheers.
Nice. We're having some wine.
Yes, because I'm quite scared to speak. Also, my English isn't very good. Well,
it is.
I fuck it up and I tend to not speak because I don't want to make mistakes.
Yeah, you tend to overthink it.
Yeah.
You said, right.
And my brain just stops.
Right. So that's why you're drinking wine.
I'm learning. I need wine.
All right.
And
that's fair.
I have to do it, because if I don't do it, I will never speak English again.
All right.
So have mercy with me.
No, as long as you feel comfortable, that's what it's about.
I'm trying my best.
It's great so far.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. We don't know how often we post. We don't know how many episodes this is going to have. We just kind of said we want to try again, because we enjoyed like conversing with each other, and we think we have a few topics. The whole point of this is basically, last time we called it Super Extreme Millennials Deluxe, and we had a similar concept.
We did.
Because I'm 38.
I forgot how old I am. Wait.
The wine's already kicking.
Wait. I'm 26.
26, right?
Yeah.
So the whole point was that we're two millennials on two ends of the spectrum.
And then I found out I'm Gen Z.
Yeah, mathematically, technically, you are not. So we were like, maybe the whole name is now like. And so we went to rebrand. We asked a friend to like create the logo. It took us forever to come up with the name.
Oh yes.
Because I think we're both perfectionists.
Yeah, and we tried to find a name that fits us both, and the topic, of course. And we went through 30 names.
Dude, more.
It was so much.
It was a lot of names. It was crazy. Do we have them somewhere? Do we have them somewhere so we can read the best ones? Or just in Telegram?
Yes.
Probably just on our chats in Telegram. And we had a few really good ones, and they were taken. They were taken by, we wanted the channel name everywhere, and they were taken mostly by people who did a podcast like 3 years ago and then never did it again. So the accounts were inactive.
One just started like 2 months ago.
With the deliberation time?
One of the names.
Shit. That's a while ago. Yeah, great. Should have probably prepared this.
Yeah. Oh, well.
This is starting off well. Dude, I can't find anything.
Me neither.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll just prepare for episode 2.
We should stop speaking to each other.
Because I've been scrolling up a lot. We talk a lot, dude.
Yeah. Oh, my cheesecake.
I have your cheese. Oh yeah, she's really good at baking cheesecake.
Yeah.
So
But
you once. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
At one point, you told me my current favorites are Act Your Age, Grow Up Already, Backseat Adulting, or Passively Adult.
Yeah. But I vibe with Backseat Adulting the most at the moment.
Right. Yeah, same. Which is why we did the whole logo and everything. So I hope it makes sense that we did all that. No, but shout out to Louis who did the logo, or basically the word mark, if you want to say. I think we still have to like take pictures if we want, but we said we do that at a later point.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few ideas, but I'm also a photographer, so I have really high standards, and I like to plan my things. I do have. Should I talk about my ideas?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so lately I've had this vision of of how do I say this? Of us in a pool, but in suits and with a pink flamingo thing, and of course with wine.
That's fire.
But I don't have a pool, so.
But we would have to stand in the pool. It would have to be like chest high.
Yeah.
And we would have to look into the camera like completely untouched, like completely just like this.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's the goal.
This
is what I want to do, but I do need a pool for this. I also need someone to take the picture of us. But I also need lights.
Right.
And it will get wet.
Yeah. Well, the camera? Or what gets wet?
No. Like the
light?
The tripods.
Will it? If you shoot it at the end of the pool.
Yes, but I want the perspective to be like from the pool to the side. So I'll need either I'll need a small pool or I'll need like really strong flashes.
Really strong, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. If anybody listens to this and has a pool that they want to offer for us to shoot in.
Yeah, like a small pool. It doesn't need to be big.
It's like a 2x2 meters.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
Honestly, yeah.
That would look so funny. Just two people in a 2x2 pool, like just looking bored.
Yeah, but I want a real pool, not one that's like inflatable or something like.
No, like an actual.
Like in the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, actual pool.
An actually constructed pool.
Exactly.
Who would create a 2x2 constructed pool? That's a swamp, dude.
I do have access to a hot tub.
Hot tub, yeah. Hot tub might work, actually.
It might. It's also a nice location.
We're making ourselves look more luxurious than we actually are if we do that. Anyway, a question is like, why did we said we vibe most with Backseat Adulting right now, but why did we choose Backseat Adulting? Like, you know, there's a definition in the term, obviously. There's a meaning in the term. So, I mean, hopefully, or should we just say we're going to give it meaning in the process of our podcast? I think the point is that because we want the whole concept to be this thing that we're looking at life from two different standpoints. Not that different, I guess, but like somewhat different.
I think there's a lot of similarities, but also different. I mean, we cannot have the same view. I mean,
right. I gotta put your mic a little closer. Sorry.
Age-wise and I think gender-wise also. I think.
Fair. And the idea of the backseat, for those of you who don't know, like the backseat term, this is basically a gaming term, I guess. It's when you create content and you stream, or probably streaming, and you're playing a game and you're doing it for the first time, maybe. And then somebody comes in and basically tells you what to do all the time. Next cross, go right. Don't forget to talk to X because that it is going to happen.
There's also backseat drivers.
Like, I think this is where it comes from.
Yeah, it might.
I think this is where it comes from. Yeah.
Okay.
It must. Because, you know, people who tell you what to do when you're driving, which tends to piss everybody off because you're like, I'm the one fucking doing this. Relax.
Use the horn.
Yeah.
Use the horn. Always.
Who the fuck says that?
Me. Always, like every few minutes.
Oh my god.
I don't have a license, so
Mm.
I'm just a passenger, but I always tell the driver to
You're a
use the
menace.
horn.
You're a passenger menace. Not a passenger princess, you're a passenger menace.
Yes.
Um
I've been offered like one of those play steering wheels. And I
For
really
kids.
want one, but no one's given me one so
would it
far.
like
so-
is it like one of those things where you think you're driving as a passenger and you can like
yes, this is what I want to do. I just want to hit the horn.
So I was are we in the About Us segment now?
I think we are, yes.
Cool. So I'll start this off with I'm horribly travel sick. And this was one of the plights of my parents with me when I was little. If we went somewhere by car and it was like an over 5-minute drive or it was a lot of like turns, straight up I get sick. And then if I would actually have to, let's call it relieve my sickness, I would be, because that takes energy from you, I would be ruined for the rest of the evening.
Yes, it does.
And so my parents became very creative trying to find ways to help me not get travel sick. And they also, I had a little bucket in the car for reasons. And my dad would be like, use it as a steering wheel, which would help for like all of 30 seconds and then not, because I was also not dumb and I kind of realized that this is not happening. But it's funny how still now even people are like, what? Okay, what if you sit in the front? What if you look at the horizon? What if you do this? And I'm like, dude, I'm 38. You think I haven't tried fucking everything in the book and nothing works? The one thing that works, and that's funny, that also explains where we're from. We're from Switzerland. Is there's mandatory conscription in Switzerland. So I went to the army. And what I learned there is that if I sit somewhere around the back of a vehicle and I sit with my back to the driving direction and maybe even lie down, perfect.
Really?
I don't get sick at all.
Okay. So I don't really get sick, travel sick.
Right.
I can't sleep at
Yes.
all in a moving object. Doesn't work. But I never get sick. Like even in ships when they move.
Oh, that was one of the worst things ever in Italy, dude.
I don't get sick. So I can't really relate to that. But I like sitting in the opposite direction of where the car's going.
Yeah, usually that's what, more people get sick doing that.
That's my favorite spot to sit.
It's funny. But yeah, I learned that in the army because we were like when we had like troop movements, we were sitting in the back of a truck and we were with our backs into the driving direction and like, you know, pulling up your knees so the next man can like lean onto your knees. And I was like, oh my God, no, we're gonna drive for 2.5 hours and then have this march. And I was super fine.
Yeah. I mean,
crazy.
good thing you found out.
Bad thing I found out in the army, because I also puked out of an army vehicle once while it was driving out of the back. That was a great story.
Well, there's always good army stories, I think.
That's such a Swiss thing though. Like if men meet,
Yeah,
for the first
it's always army.
Have you been? Yeah. Have you been? Yeah, dude, one time. And then you just start telling all these stories of like, I have like 3 or 4 stories, right? Like the good ones, you know, that I probably told like 100 times each.
It's just like the dad lore.
Yeah.
Like there's a TikTok trend going around with dad lore.
Dad lore.
Yes.
What the fuck? Yeah, it's crazy because, you know, the thing is, millennials are still on TikTok. Like we're still a generation that's on TikTok and like within the technological change and everything. But we are now at the age where you have a family and you have kids and you have a career and you know all that. You're basically an adult. Yeah. Like a full adult if you want. So you have this connection between you're still on these, let's say, young apps, but you have this experience, and so you create content for that, ultimately for other millennials. Because you know, I don't know anybody above the age of like 32 who wants to like go on TikTok and be like skibbity toilet or whatever the kids are fucking talking about right now. And I mean, it's fair, you know. I think I stream on Twitch, and most viewers I have are like 25 to 35, I guess. When I started like almost 9 years ago, many of them were like 18 or 19 because also Twitch was more new. But now it's like you get the audience and you cultivate the audience that connects to your vibe. And so I tend, if you're not a hype beast all the time, you get more mature viewers probably, I guess.
I recently looked at my TikTok analytics. It's mostly 13-year-olds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you posted Fortnite stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you had a lot of boys going, "Can you play with me?"
Yes. It's always like this.
Yeah.
Especially on TikTok. I streamed Fortnite on TikTok and for hours. And the whole chat was consisting of, can we please play together? Or can you add me?
Yep. Not surprised. It's the same on Twitch.
Yeah.
But not just Fortnite, any game. You'll have, even if you have like, I don't know, 5 or 10 viewers or something, you'll have someone come in, hey, can I join the next round? And it's funny how like you go through these maturing stages as a streamer, as a creator, where in the beginning you're like, yeah, whatever keeps your interest.
Yeah.
Please stay watching, like continue watching me. And then at some point you're just like, fuck that, man. You're getting it's more troublesome to do something like that than losing a view or keeping the view than just not doing it and losing the view.
But it's a huge pain in the ass. I have to elaborate. One time I actually did it. I had a friend play with me.
Right.
For safety reasons, just because I didn't want to be alone. So I'm not alone to, stream on TikTok. And then we let people join us. And I wasn't prepared for like a 9-year-old's voice in my voice chat. I thought they're at least like 15, 16. It was a child.
It's like that meme, a child. Yeah, I don't know. It's honestly... there's a few games where you just don't get these kids. That's why I stream a lot of DayZ RP right now, because you just don't have like little kids there. I think the minimum, this is the lowest age that I've encountered there is maybe 20 or 21.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually nice. But yeah, you get those kids, and I hate to say it, dude. My wife and I, we don't want kids. We're probably never gonna have kids, and I don't hate kids. Maybe we're gonna get shut down immediately after this. I don't hate kids. I just chuckle a little about videos where they do something stupid or they fall or something. As long as they're not seriously hurt, that's a whole different thing.
I'm not sure if I want kids. Like for me, it's more like, do I want to be pregnant or not?
So the pregnancy aspect of it.
I don't want to be.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
I don't want to be. I think that's terrible.
I understand in the sense of I don't want to be pregnant either, but I think the danger is considerably smaller for me to become pregnant than it is for you.
I hope so.
Yeah, but it's funny how, and that's basically the aging topic. I hate to admit that when I was 21, 22, 23, I had these moments where somebody at 40 or something tried to like give me advice, unsolicited advice.
It's always unsolicited.
Yeah, mostly, right? And I was like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah.
Okay, boomer. And I realize now at 38 that there's situations, and I try to hold myself back, where I was like, and you mean well. You see someone young struggling with something where you went through as well, and you realize, dude, it's not that big of a deal. If I had known what I'm about to tell you back then, it would have been a lot easier for me, but you don't, because you don't want to be that guy who's like, listen up, kiddo. It's it kind of sucks.
I started giving that advice, and I'm not proud of it.
Okay.
I just started to tell people what they could do, and I feel so bad about this.
But like what's an example of this?
Well, my cousin wants to move out. I told her, hey, you need to get this, and this, and you don't need this, but you need that. And she was almost strangling me. She was like, stop. I will figure it out. You figured it out too? I will do it. And I'm like, no, listen to me. It was painful. Just do this instead of this. She was like, I will figure it out. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense that you want to help. It also makes sense that you don't want to help.
Yeah.
And
I didn't want to help either.
Yeah, right, exactly. The same. And ultimately, I mean, this is a very privileged thing to say because we live in a safe country and we have good lives, I'd argue. But sometimes when I have this urge, I try to tell or at work, something at work, or how is somebody younger than me handling a work situation that is like a meta, not specifically a meta situation, not specifically about one specific work task, but about how you treat work. Yeah. And then I'm like, if I think this person has like a good head on their shoulders, I'm like, yeah, I'm still here. Like I went through it. I somehow made a decision. Maybe it wasn't smart, but I learned from it and I'm still here. And it's an experience that I cherish, that I made it. I don't have a classically well-organized career life. I'm 38 and I basically just started building a career 4 years ago because I went to uni really early for Englistics. After a year or 1.5, I decided I hated it, and I went to work for a consumer IT company for 5 years. And then I was like, but I kind of do want to study something. Law sounds really cool. And I fucking put in my head that law was going to be the dope shit to do. And I did it for fucking 4 years. And it was really, really hard. I loved it. It was super interesting, but it was really hard because your brain has to work in a specific way to really be good at this extremely partially logical and partially extremely abstract field. And then right before I finished my bachelor, I was like, fuck that, man. I can't do this. And I switched to media and comms. Okay. And I did that for 3 years, bachelor's, and then said, okay, I'm done. And I went to work. And I was lucky with my career so far. I work in a really cool company. It's kicking my ass. I work way too much. It's my most intense job ever. It's probably the kind of job that if I ever stop it, I will look back on it like that shit was so cool. Like it was super intense, but it was so crazy cool.
It's everybody's dream job.
Mine?
Yeah.
You think?
I think so.
Shit. Yeah. No pressure, dude.
I'm trying. But just to say, not every dream job is a dream job when you're in the job. Yeah. Especially when it comes to stress. Yeah. Because if it's your own dream job, you put in so much more work and you stress yourself to the point of I get stress rashes in my face. So
damn. But you have do you want to say what you do?
Yeah, I can say. So I thought I like to work 24/7. So I have my own company. But I've been working to the point where I am today, my whole job life. So I started working in a TV studio when I was 15. I learned video editing. I did a lot of TV shows. Then I had to get a certificate, because that's just what you do in Switzerland.
Yeah. Gotta have a certificate for everything.
But I always knew I wanted to have my own company, so I went the way of being a photographer. You have said, apprenticeship. But I hate school. I really fucking hate it. Because of stuff I experienced, and I hate school so much. Then I switched to, I was in job school in Switzerland for 3 months. Then I switched to, I was so lucky. I went to Austria.
Right.
Because they don't have a lot of school. Well, they do, but for me, because I was from Switzerland, I had a special.
You get like a shortened time? you have
No,
to go?
but I didn't have to go to school in Austria.
Right.
So I was able to do like self-study.
Cool.
And I went to Austria like 2 or 3 times a year for just seeing everyone. And then I came back and
I'm still here.
Yeah, exactly. And I went to get my certificate, and that was, honestly, that's a story for another day. Because it's hilarious.
Okay.
It's really good. But another day.
Then we hear about it another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I sometimes think am I at the point in my life where I should do more certifications, all this CAS stuff you can do. And then sometimes I think actually building a career on the job tends to like be more helpful for your career.
I think so
than
too.
just getting certs. Because I sometimes it feels like I needed my uni certificate, my uni diploma, my bachelor's degree for like my first job, maybe my second, because this one is like a much bigger company. I do gaming and esports. I'm responsible for my country's gaming and esports field for an international, well, I want to say marketing company really. Yeah, I've been told that it's like the most sought after gaming job in Switzerland because there's not a lot of gaming jobs in Switzerland, unfortunately, that like pay like a full salary and everything. So that's why I'm saying no pressure. And I was kind of surprised I got in that because after uni, I did content for an esports startup. That kind of went all right. That's a whole story. I can also tell it on a different day. And then I landed at an agency, esports agency, where I basically did content again. Just videos, stills, not photography, but just animation and design, branding. And then this company, I worked with this company as a streamer. This is the one I'm working at now. And my contact there, at some point, we were at an event and he basically said, I got cross-promoted within the company. I'm doing something else. And we got along really well. And I basically joked like, yeah, hire me for your old job. And he's like, yeah, fucking apply.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you know the company, I don't want to say it really, but if you know the company, they do have this vibe of it's impenetrable. Like it's who the fuck works there? How do you get there?
But everyone wants to work there.
Yeah, kind of. Because it's a good name. It's pretty trailblazy good name. And so I did apply. I heard that like 80 or 90 people applied or got in there or 100 something. It was like a lot. And that somebody with like 10 years of project management experience was in the last 3 to get. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm done, And then you had to do like a personality test. You had to do a business case and you only had like 48 hours for it. So it was pretty stressful. But then I went and presented. And then they called me, and the way they worded it already sounded like, sorry, it's not going to happen. And then they said, yeah, we thought you're pretty cool, man. Do you want to come work for us? I was like, holy shit. And now I do this job, and it's crazy how much I learned about myself, like resilience and everything on this single job. And I took the stress that I took from it because the first 3 months, and that's also a bigger story, but the first 3 months were one of the most stressful times in my life. And I was stressed out and like close to tears every fucking night. Anyway, that was probably one of the most stressful times in my life. But it taught me a lot about like it's also like such a passion thing to work in gaming and esports, and you want to do super well. And I have this crazy innate drive to perfectionism, which is going to be the end of me one day. And so I wanted to do my very best that I could and like blow everything out of the water, which taught me that this is not how life works and it's not always going to be possible. And B, you have to remove yourself. Like it's okay to be emotional about your work, but you have to remove yourself from it to an extent or it will bury you because it will break you.
Yes.
And that's the resilience thing I'm talking about. And I think I made great progress at that. Also with therapy, because I started therapy around that time because I realized I had a lot of like untreated issues. and that was part of it, and that helped. I stopped therapy like a month ago.
Okay.
So I feel a lot better.
Very good. I think it's important to have someone neutral to talk about stuff, even if you don't have diagnoses or anything.
Yeah,
it's good to have a neutral person to talk to, and they have to because you pay them to listen to you.
And to professionals.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody should. Almost everybody I know would benefit from therapy. Like even if it's just a short time.
Yeah, I mean, I like talking about certain things to somebody, especially if you're in a high stress job or any job. To be honest, it's good to have a professional to talk to.
Yeah, I feel like that's another thing about like an age thing. We all harbor childhood trauma.
Yes.
That we got as kids. We could have had the best parents ever. There will be some form of trauma that you carry with your life, and that's one thing where I feel like your generation, if I want to say it like that, is way further than I think ever before. Is that therapy, mental support is a lot more accepted than it was, because I remember when I was 20, the idea of 21, 22, the idea of going to a therapist was just starting to slowly become like a thing that you even talk about or like accept, or that is acceptable and not like a stigma as in, oh, you've given up, you're too weak. I can only imagine what it was like for our parents.
I started going to therapy when I was like 11 years old.
That's super early.
And we, as a family, didn't talk about it to anyone. And for me too, I was like, I don't want anyone to know that I'm seeing a therapist.
Yeah.
One of my parents to this day still don't talk about this, like that I went to therapy.
So they feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
About their kid going to therapy. Crazy. Yeah. I openly told my parents, and they just never really commented on it. It was more of a, hey, if it makes you feel better, go ahead. But like no judgment, like no, oh, that's great, or what? Why would you do that? Just nothing. And my parents are boomer generation. I almost said my parents are boomers, but I feel like at this point, boomer is a mindset. It's not necessarily an age. You can be a boomer at any age.
My parents are Gen X, age-wise.
Yeah.
But my mother recently found out how to do WhatsApp stories.
Uh-oh.
And she spams everyone with pictures of me.
Like young pictures of you?
No, like...
The current ones?
No.
Shit, dude. If it were kid pictures, I'd be like, yeah, I don't care. If it's current ones, I'd be like, oh my God, why?
You haven't seen my kids' pictures?
No, I haven't.
I'm not proud. I don't want... Let's say this. When I get married, I don't want pictures, slideshows for everyone to see.
Right.
Let's just say this.
I made fun of my wife for a child video, and it has now. We're very cheesy with each other. We're very much in love. We've been married for 4 years, coming up on 4 years. I'm very happy. But she loves dancing still, and she was a dancer as a kid. And so when we got married, her parents couldn't be here. She's from another country, and it was COVID, right?
Yeah.
So they couldn't be here for the ceremony, and so they made a video. I think they had my sister-in-law help them make a video out of the old stuff. Oh. And there's one where I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say all this, so I'm just gonna like. I'm just gonna like
I'll beep it out if
allude to it. It's her as a kid of like 5 saying in English, or like 6 saying in English, which is not her mother tongue. I can't say the thing, but it's like a small little rhyme about how I love my mom, because it was either Mother's Day or it was March. It was March, of course. And in Slavic countries, March is Women's Day, right, where we celebrate. And she like says a rhyme, and I changed it to basically fit her. And first I thought, oh shit, You know, I don't want her to think I'm making fun of her heritage, but now it's like one of the lines that we use sometimes. Maybe if I have more wine, I'll just say it at some point, or if I asked her in between episodes, and she's
now
like,
I'm very interested to hear what it is.
It's a fun little. I can say the line itself. It's my dear Zaya. We call each other Zaya. My dear Zaya, I love you very much. I want you to be happy from March to March. So I made the March to March thing because it's all the time, not just in March. And it became one of the birthday gifts I gave her this month was based on this. It's a small little rose gold is her favorite. It's a small little rose gold keychain, and it has 4 sides because it's cubic but long. That's not cubic. What do you call that? Like it's a cube if you look at it from one side.
Yeah. Okay. I know rectangle, but 4-dimensional. Wow.
4-dimensional rectangle. That's fucking dope. No, but it's 4 sides, and one side says my dear Zaya, then the next one says I love you very much, then the next one says I want you to be happy. Aww. And then the next one has a Spotify link. Okay. And then if you scan it in Spotify, it brought her to a playlist that I added with a few songs that we listened to together a lot, called From March to March. Aww. So
you're such a romantic.
Yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm cheesy as shit.
My boyfriend just eats my favorite cookies that I bought for myself a week ago. It happened last night. I'm still very angry. So last night I went into the cupboard and I was like, I want my cookies. Yeah. I opened it. The cupboard is empty. I'm like, where are my snacks? Where are my snacks? And where are my favorite cookies?
And so he ate them.
My boyfriend loves his sleep. I was contemplating to wake him up. Yeah. Because I was so angry. So where are my fucking cookies?
I love how you do the hand thing. If you're listening, she did the hand movement of like holding him under the chin. Yeah. Like you fucking.
I almost cried. I wrote a very angry tweet. I put it in the drafts because I'm not gonna post this. But yeah, so I texted him, where are my cookies? And a sad smiley. This morning he answered,
I'll sleep in a hotel.
No, this isn't it. I'd love that, but no. So he answered, I ate them. Ha ha.
He added ha ha.
Yes.
The man, wow. Balls of steel.
Yeah.
Balls of steel.
I was like, yeah, but they're my favorite cookies. You cannot eat them. I don't buy them just for... It was like 3 packs.
Right.
3.
Right.
And I just wanted one of those packs.
And he ate the whole 3 packs?
Yes.
How many cookies is that? 12?
Oh, I think so, yeah. 12.
Fuck.
So I was flabbergasted by that because...
Flabbergasted?
Yes. And then I was like, hey, come on.
Cookies.
You know, those are my favorite cookies. Why did you eat them? And he was like, give me back my clothing iron.
Are you telling me he did it to get back at you for the clothing iron?
Damn. No. Because it happened a little while later. Because it's actually my clothing iron, but it's his. So I took that to a shoot. We had a shoot for a business.
Photo shoot.
A photo shoot, yeah. Video shoot, actually. And I do iron the clothes of the people in front of the camera because I want them to look good. So I took that to the shoot. I forgot to give it back to him. And now it's a hostage situation because I'm holding the clothing iron hostage until I get my cookies.
Is this what we call the episode? The cookie / clothes?
The hostage situation.
The cookie hostage situation?
Maybe.
That's a good title, isn't it? That's probably a good title. Tell us in the comments whether this is a good title. And I don't even know if we post this on YouTube. That's the idea, right?
Yeah. Okay. You know what I'd like to do?
What?
Like if we get some viewers and maybe they're a little bit courageous, I want to have like people to write in some problems they're having or whatever. Just like I want to give my opinion to people.
Yeah, I would love for it to play into the topic of the podcast.
Yeah.
Somebody in Gen Z be like, oh, how would somebody 10 years older than me look at this?
Yeah.
Or somebody of my age be
Yeah.
like, well, how do kids feel? Like like how do younger people feel about that?
Thank
I think
you.
That would be
I bought wine today. I had to show my ID.
Yeah.
In Switzerland, you can buy wine at 16. Apparently, I look 15.
I mean this in the best way when I say I don't. You don't look like a child.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought like, am I? Do I look like a child?
No.
But I had on like clothing where you can't see my tattoos. So next time I'm going there like in a bikini or something, so she can see all my tattoos.
It's summer.
It's summer, yeah. And no 16-year-old gets that many tattoos.
That's another topic. Another age difference topic. When I was 16, the idea of getting people who were tattooed, like you looked up to them because it was like so cool and wow and like, oh my God. But it was one of those things where you like idolize other people for having it, but you don't actually consider doing it yourself. And I feel like, or let me put it like this. A face tattoo was like unheard of. Like it was unthinkable to get a face tattoo.
But we have to talk about this now. So at my age,
right,
a face tattoo, like at 16 years old, I was like, oh, that's the shit.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I want it too.
But do you think that's a generational thing? I feel like younger people than me.
It might be. Because, well, I grew up with the internet.
Yeah.
I had access to see those things. How old were you when you had your own computer?
So I had my own computer very early because I was a huge nerd. I was super into computers and I fucked up my dad's PC all the time by playing around. So at some point he was like, gotta get this little shit is on PC. I was maybe 13.
Okay, I was 7.
That was, yeah, I'm just saying like it was comparatively young for my generation. Yeah. But I'm that generation where you only got a phone from your dad, like a mobile phone, one of those big ass things. Yeah. If you went somewhere, so they had a way to call you. And now I see kids at like fucking 8 or something walking around with an iPhone. Which at first I was like, what the fuck is this? But now I'm like, it's just a new generation. And it's in the place where I come from, there's one plane that's flying over that place like every day. An airplane.
At the same time.
Right.
At 11 p.m.
Okay.
And our parents always told us, you have to be home when the 11 o'clock flight is passing over you.
Oh, you went for the plane. That's kind of cool.
That was always like, you have to be home.
Right.
When that flight.
Right. That's kind of cool. When did you get your first phone?
Like real phone or like
a smartphone.
Like smartphone?
Or just a cell phone, mobile phone.
A cell phone, I think my first one was like in 2nd grade. But it was like a Nokia where you can play Snake.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was the thing where when I left, I had to get the phone from my parents. So they can reach me, but it depended on how far away I am.
Right. So was it yours though? Or was it just one of theirs and they gave it to you?
No, it was mine.
Okay.
They bought it, they never used it.
Right.
I never used it either.
Right. I got my first one, Nokia 3210, of course.
That's my favorite.
Dude, it was a dope ass device. You can't lie. I got that at, I want to say 14, 15. And my mom came to me to like a store and back then and bought me this phone. I was because it was like the hot shit.
Yeah.
And selected a number for me from like a bunch of SIM cards that they were preloaded with a number.
Yeah.
And I still have that number. And it has the same 3 digits in the end. And if you wanted that number but with other digits, so it's the 4th to last number is a digit, and then the last 3 numbers are the next digit, but 3 times. I'm horrible at explaining this. So it's like a really cool number to have, and I still have it because I transferred it from like one.
I have to look at your phone number.
one provider to another.
I actually still do have my first phone number.
Yeah.
Too.
But the thing is, you can now check online. You want to buy a number, like a specialty number with like the same number 3 times, 4 times. If I got a similar style number now, it would be 2,000. So I have a pretty expensive fucking phone number.
Oh, Mr. Financially Responsible.
Mr. Financially Responsible. I invest in phone numbers. You kids with your Bitcoins and your Dogecoins and your tethers and whatnot. You know what the real shit is? Mobile phone numbers, dude. I'm telling you. It's a don't. This is not financial advice. I have to legally say that.
My boyfriend wants a URL. It's provemewrong.com. Because he always says that when he's trying to win a fight. He says, provemewrong.com. And I looked it up. It's 20K. And I thought...
for a URL, that's a bit wild.
Yeah, I know, but it would be a good wedding present.
I went to one of those buy a pre-used and now not used URL websites. I forgot what it was called. And I wanted strike.gg. I have strike.vg, like video games. Yeah. And then they were like, send us an email for an offer. And I was like, yeah, send me an offer. And they said, how much are you willing to pay? And I said, I don't know, 400? And they said, yeah, we're thinking about like 80K.
What?
And I was like, bruh, nah, that's not going to happen. Have a good day. Goodbye. A month later, that guy, I think his name is Greg, sends me an email. Hey, so we never finished our conversation about this. How high are you willing to go? And I said, 400. How low are you willing to go? I can do 70K. Okay. And ever since, every 2 months, he sends me another message like, so how he's standing? And I'm like,
so are you getting close?
400. And he's like, 60K. So my point
if I was you, I would go down to like 300.
Just like, fuck you, 300.
1 month, 300. The next month, 400
for
again.
Free. No, but my point is, I honestly, this is business, right? Yeah. So this has been going on for like 1.5 years. And like 3 months ago, I told him, like, I have a very good writing style. I think I can be very respectful, but very direct. And I said, sorry, Greg, but you've been trying to sell me this URL for 1.5 years. And apparently you haven't really had that much luck at selling it. So you can either keep sitting on it and demand your 70K, or you can give it to me. And I think I went up to 700 or something. Okay. And you made a deal. And we're good. And he said, nah. So I'm like, okay, fuck it.
Just wait.
I have a Strike address. I mean, it's just a vanity thing to have a .gg address. But I hate...
It's nice.
I hate Strike. I have to tell this story here. I go by Strike everywhere online. I used to be Strike something. And that was my Twitch name and everything. And since Twitch was my main platform, I always wanted to have the same name everywhere as I have on Twitch, and I never managed to. And so first on Twitch, it was Strike DM. And then when I got partnered to Twitch, I asked, could I have Strike? And at first they said no, and then they said yes. So now for the last 7 years, something, I had Strike on Twitch. Nice. It's really cool. Obviously impossible to get anywhere else. Yeah. Like even if I like register to a shit little niche website with 200 users, Strike will be taken already. And so I did that guy's Strike on like most social media. And I went to @Strike a few times, and then I saw that it was owned by a French TV channel for a show that they have where it's basically a talk show, and famous people play bowling.
Wow.
While they talk, and it's called Strike. And it hadn't been aired in like 3 years. So I texted them like, yo, could I have I'm like a student, I'm a content creator. Could I have your ad? And interestingly enough, they wrote back in like French, like two weeks later, like, yeah, it's possible. We have to check it internally, but looks good because we never use it. I was like, imagine having @Strike on Twitter. Oh my God.
I know where this is going.
And then, because you are in finance.
I know. Yes. I know them.
So, nothing happened. And then they got the account got suspended on Twitter. And I texted them like, yo, what's up? Can I have it or not? No response ever again. And it was suspended for 2 years. And I was like, okay, maybe it'll get recycled, and I can have it. I just have to. I set up one of those services for like a buck a month that keeps checking every 15
if it's
minutes.
available.
Yeah, and never was available. And then one day I went, and it was Strike, the investment company or whatever you want.
It's a crypto wallet.
Crypto
Crypto
company.
payment.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they took it from you.
Yeah, they did. So if anybody from Strike watches this,
you have a vendetta with them.
I have a vendetta with you, dude. I don't know what you do. I don't know. I have no beef with your business. Give me that fucking handle, dude. Just do Strike Crypto or something. Come on, man. It's not cool.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for watching this podcast, by the way. If anybody from Strike watches this podcast.
We could add them. How do you say that?
Tag them.
Tag.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You say you could tag them, I think. But yeah, I think one thing I want to talk about, and that will be something for the next episode, is the idea of nostalgia.
Ooh,
I feel like nostalgia is probably a different thing for me than it is for you. But
we will see.
This should be for the next episode, because I think we've fulfilled our quota for today. We are Annie and Strike. This is Backseat Adulting. Thank you so much for watching / listening. If you are on a platform where you have a possibility to comment, let us know how you liked it. Leave a like, subscribe, the whole fucking thing. And if not, tell us where you listen or watch this the most, so we can concentrate on those things. The topics you would like to hear.
Any questions to us?
Hate mail?
No, not yet. In like 2 or 3 episodes, I'll be open to accepting hate mail, but not right now.
Maybe they start off just like, don't even do this fucking podcast. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just stop. Just quit.
Stop it.
Christ. Cringe, as the kids would say.
Lost.
Skibbity toilet.
Exactly.
Skibbity toilet, my friends. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Bye.